watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, John Paul Black.
Together we are RAW. And how's every single one of you? It is time to talk about the new era, NXT 2.0, and a lot of expectations. A lot of people thought that, this is going to be bad. A lot of us, thought that maybe there's hope. But in the end, I would say a thumbs down for the whole show, just because a lot of things did not come out to fruition the way I thought they were going to be. In the areas that there was opportunity, they didn't cash in into that. But Paul, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, and before we go forward, you really got to take a step back. A few days ago, Samoa Joe, undisclosed injuries, was like, I had to relinquish the belt. It was done. So that was really the thing a lot of people were holding on to. They said, hey, it's a new era. They cut a lot of guys, Bruce Pritchard and Johnny Ace and Vince McMahon, all them involved. But at least Samoa Joe's our champion. How can you fuck Samoa Joe up? He's legit. Now he has these injuries. Is this another Daniel Bryan thing? Where
yes, a lot of people are saying it is. A lot of people are saying it is. So
because obviously Vince and them didn't like Joe on the main roster. You think they're gonna like him down here? So that really sucks for Samoa Joe. Just when we all got excited, but no, this was not a very good show. Like I said to you before we went on the air, this is probably one of the most embarrassing wrestling shows I think I've ever seen. If I had to show, if somebody said, "Oh, you like pro wrestling? Show me an episode," and they watched this episode, you'd be the laughing stock of the town.
It is true. I have to agree with you on that one. So thank you so very much for being with us, though. We're going to try to entertain you the best possible way, and be with us for us. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give the video a like so more people are exposed to us. So Paul, what do you think? At least the new setup, the new set, the lining is better. At least it's not that darkish, like a clandestine. You know what I mean? Like vibe that NXT used to have before. At least that's a plus. We all, it's not that we hate everything, but this was actually a little better. Show started with some promos for the Fatal 4-Way that they was going to take place, because remember, this was going to be the #1 contender. Turns out to be this became the NXT Championship match. Kyle O'Reilly was right there, Tommaso Ciampa, LA Knight, Pete Dunne. And talking about LA Knight finds the son of Rick Steiner, and that's his name is Braun Breaker. And like you said, can they call him Steiner? I don't know why's the beef with that, but this was absolutely dumb. I don't like this. Okay, LA Knight's supposed to have a match, a championship match. They're probably the biggest or the most important match in his life. No, he goes, oh yeah, let's have a match. Don't you think, does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing if this was Drake Maverick going, man, I'm excited because, Braun here, I'm going to call him, Steiner, he was going, he was excited because it was NXT 2.0, the debut episode. And then LA Knight's like, oh, you're excited? Well, how about this? I have a big match too. You should be excited about that. And, why don't you go out there, jump around in the ring, and then I'll be out and I'll kick your cross-eyed ass. So, he's making fun of him. And, but look at this guy. Hey, like I said, he's not Drake Maverick. Yeah, why would you challenge this guy? You make LA Knight look like an idiot, obviously.
Complete idiot, exactly.
Yeah, obviously, this was the booking of the show, but you make him look like the idiot. And for him to get the loss here, I mean, Braun looked good, but what? I mean, LA Knight though, I know they're trying to get these guys over, these new young guys. That's the new narrative. But it sucks for these, these veterans, these guys.
Yeah, no, especially for LA Knight, like you said,
this is it reminds me almost like Austin Aries, where now LA Knight's way better human being than Austin Aries. You come in and it's like, oh, you're gonna be legit, and then you lose and you look like shit, and then it's like,
Yeah, it's whatever. It's it's fine, like you said, but Breaker gets the win, like you said, he steals the win. After that, for me, the championship match completely dead, because LA Knight was one of my guys to win this whole thing, because if they will know how to book, but of course, like you said, they just treat him as a jobber now, because we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But he also Breaker received the praise from everybody in backstage, and backstage was pretty much a lot of the newcomers, all the new guys that are going to be featuring this show. So again, I don't like that, because just LA Knight is going to have a championship match. Why is he having a match in the beginning of the show? It does not make any sense. So move on to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I liked a little bit for Braun, because it's get the future over Rick Steiner's kid, so he should hopefully have some talent and skill. I thought he looked good in the match, big power slam for the finisher. But why have him beat LA Knight? Why not have him beat a job guy to look good and have all the other guys be like, yeah? So then in our heads, we can go, oh, this guy's going to be one of the future guys who they're really going to push. But to beat LA Knight, to me, that just killed it.
No, it's bad, But like this is how you should do it, You give the guys like some exposure, like these guys, Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs. So they're a tag team. They want an opportunity, and they went against Imperium, and in the quickest fashion possible.
Can they ever give people? Sorry to cut you off, but can they ever give people legit names? Like a tag team comes out, like, oh, here's Jean Paul and Juan, like, oh, yeah, okay, legit,
Yeah. No, like that's another one. That's another area where they need improvement. But like you said, in the end, Imperium got the win, and this is at least decent because Imperium, we know them, they're established. You don't need to job these guys out just to get these other guys out, just because your new narrative is to push younger talent. I don't need that every single segment. Don't give me that.
Exactly. No, and you, like you said, this was how you do it right. If you're going to put the new talent in there with a veteran who's over and is still one of your top guys, you don't job out that veteran, the top guy. You have them. They sell for the younger team, and obviously Brenson and Jensen or Jetson and
Briggs and Jensen. Yes.
Yeah. They were bigger than Imperium size-wise, and they showed that off. The big, caught him with one arm. I think it was Eichner, and then they were showing their dominance. But Imperium, the more established, cohesive team, they're better. They got the win, and that's how it should have been. So that's
how it should have been.
This was one of the segments where you go, okay, I'm fine with it. This was
at least, yeah, exactly. You just think about it. It's like, okay, it's not everything is not a lost cause here, but of course there is, because we're going to see the debut of like FBAF or FAB, like FBAB or whatever the name. FBAB, like whatever the name is, and like she went against Katrina Cortez. So like we know her as Catalina from like the guys that used to watch Monday Night Raw like a few years ago, and at least she's having matches. She had a match on 205 Live. Now she's probably getting ready for this, and of course FBAB, she got like the win right away. Like it was just jobbing her out. Why? Because now Elektra Lopez, she's gonna come out, and they were cutting a promo between the two of them, and I think this is gonna be like the 4 against 4, like you mentioned, Paul. So like, this is okay at least. At most, it's okay. Because remember the words look like two like girls outside of like any like market. They were just having a fight. But at least Santos Escobar like put a stop to it. It's like no, you're not gonna fight right now. It's gonna be under our own terms, so it's fine. At some point, we're gonna see the 4 against 4. I don't know if it's good enough. I don't know like if Vince is gonna take care of this in the right way. Triple H is not even around. I don't know if I should get excited about this.
This is the one thing I'm going to say to you, and this is daunting. I hate to say this because I loved NXT for the longest time. I always said it was, one of my favorite shows. But, how from here on out, the show absolutely was terrible. Besides, the championship match I did like. But, this is bad, and you got to think they're not competing head to head anymore. But then you have AEW on tomorrow night with guys of Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Adam Cole,
Kazarian,
Kenny Omega, if you like them. You still have all these top guys there. Hangman Page, Malachi Black, all them. I think NXT's done. I really, to me, this it felt like I said, besides a few guys, there's a few holdouts on this show. But besides that, I mean, it feels like I'm watching a soap opera.
You said it. It already feels like McMahon-like, and the mess, like you said it. Like there's a whole suspicion that Samoa Joe is not really injured. It was just like, you know what, dude? Like we don't need you as champion because it's a brand new era of NXT. So I mean, let's go like to warm up for the wedding that like Indy Harrow is gonna go with like also Dexter Loomis, and like, we got to see what is it like the groomsmaids or whatever, like the best friends or.
Whatever. Yeah, the grooms.
Kind of like because like they have like they have like the suit like Dexter Loomis will wear like all the time of attire, and also like Austin Theory's back, and it says we need a priest for this. We need a priest, so Damien Priest shows up. Does it make sense? No. Were they ever friends? No, they're actually feuding, and also like Damien Priest doesn't even show up with like the United States Championship. You know what? If the special appearance needs to make sense. If it doesn't, he showed up there, but he didn't show up in the actual wedding. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I don't like these stupid segments. I'm sorry. I do not like this. I mean, Gargano like sells it a little bit. Austin Theory like becomes an absolute dumbass when he like just NXT. But like, I don't know what you thought. I'm just like,
I mean, when they said I need a priest, and then Damien Priest came in, I kind of laughed. I'm like, oh, that's funny. But I thought it would have been funny if he would have walked in and there would have been like two hot chicks in the room, and he'd be like, "Oh, come with me, ladies," and left, and then they're all like,
Exactly.
But
So
he's like, "Oh, I'm not a priest," blah blah blah. Like you said, I mean, no, this again, if it's funny, you can admit if it's funny, that's one thing. But does it belong on a wrestling show? That's not up for debate. No.
Yeah, exactly. Does not belong there. So let's go to Carmelo Hayes. He's actually turning heel. Like he was actually a baby face now, and like he's actually going to reveal what's going to say, like where he's going to challenge or who's he's going to challenge. So he comes up with Trick Williams, but like the nature of the promo was pretty much like he wants to be a heel. Like he's tired of like being nice. That like everybody just feels that like he wanted like out of luck. He's like, no, I'm going to prove myself. I already did it. Like, I'm just going to show that I'm the real deal. Duke Hudson comes out, and then they go on the stare down. And then Williams goes like, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody's taking it seriously. So they attack the guy, which it makes sense. You're sending a message. I didn't mind this. Carmelo Hayes, like, we're going to see what where is he going to go from this. But at least it shows that, like, there's going to be some type of character that I don't mind,
Yeah, and I mean, I was 50-50 on this. It went way too long. And Trick Williams, he is like a charisma. He talks a little too fast, I think, a little too street. So it's like, maybe slow it down a little bit. But I do like the line where I have the gift of gab and the gift of jab. I thought that was pretty good. That was cool. And no, I liked it, but the crowd didn't know what was going on. Because I don't think either they didn't understand the promo or they didn't understand the storytelling, whatever was going on. But with Duke Hudson, he's like, "Oh, I have a match." They have a stare down. All he said was, "You got lucky when you beat me in the tournament." But they were blocking him, and he's a grown man. He's not a little pussy, so he pushed him out of the way. I have a match. You're in my way. Get the fuck out of my way. And then he went to the ring, and they beat the shit out of him 2-on-1. And the crowd was cheering it when you were supposed to boo it. So the segment felt off. It felt weird.
Not the greatest thing.
I mean, I'm fine with him turning heel and having this partner. Then, hey, they can go. Maybe he doesn't win whatever belt he goes after. They go in the tag division. You have all these possibilities, with a two-man group like that. But it just, no.
It didn't feel too good, like you said. But like, let's move on to the next one. And then it's like we see Gigi Dolan and JC Jade, and like they're actually like talking to like Mandy Rose, and she's gonna show a new look. Like finally, I thought she was gonna still wear like the mask, but it's like, Mandy, you're ready to go. It's all good. It's all legit. So then we're gonna have a match with like Kenzie Catanzaro and Kaden Carter, and in the middle of that, Kyle O'Reilly gets beat up by like Rich Holland and Pete Dunne. So I'm like, why is this happening? And we complain about AEW about the beat down, the interferences. Right there is another proof that like this show is also going to go in the wrong. It's going in the wrong direction just because it's dumb. And also like here, like the match is taking place. Mandy Rose shows up. That causes interference. The match is over, and then Sheree shows up. And then, of course, in the worst WWE fashion, Vince McMahon. You can tell Vince McMahon right here was making the shots here. Why? Because it becomes actually a six-man tag.
Go back to that picture of Mandy Rose. That face is pretty much how I felt at this point right now.
Yeah,
ready to like rip my head off my neck because
exactly.
This is bad. Kyle O'Reilly. I like Ciampa more than you do. We'll get to the main event when we get there. But Kyle O'Reilly was really okay. Samoa Joe's gone. This is a refresh, a rebrand. You want to get young talent over. People who crowd can get behind, young people can get behind. I think young kids, if they see Kyle O'Reilly, because he looks younger than he probably is, you think, okay, badass, this guy's cool. In a couple years I can be like him, legit. That's the person you would want to make your champion. So I thought it sucks what they did or what happened, whatever it is, the truth about Samoa Joe. But Kyle O'Reilly would be champion, and then he gets beat up, and they immediately say, "Oh, he got taken out of the match," and it's like,
thanks, exactly. Like, there's no story. It's just like, okay, so he's not able to like just fight through the pain or something. But coming back to, like I said, like a big like knee, and then 1, 2, 3, and of course Kaden Carter. Like out of everybody, like the one girl that actually can wrestle decent, like gets the pin, and like you said, they're establishing this trio.
I was fine with that because if anybody needed to really get established in this, it was Mandy Rose.
Yes.
Because she has this group, and then you see, okay, Frankie Monet has a group, and some, maybe one of them at some point gets the title and they feud with each other. That can be some good stuff here. And, this is good for Mandy Rose. I think she's benefiting from this a lot. She looks more legit here than she ever did on Monday Night Raw, if you ask me.
So, don't forget,
feud with her and Saray, I think will be good too.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be okay. We'll see, where they go. Like they completely.
I knew the nose thing was a work. I knew that was a work.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And then also like they nixed the championship match between Raquel Gonzalez and Frankie Monet. They nixed it. That didn't happen. Of maybe time restraints. A lot of things with the women. They always do that. There's over running out of time.
We had to have a wedding.
Exactly. Yeah, they could actually have a championship match, but they had to have a wedding. And talking about that, preparations. There you go. You get to see Candice. You get to see Indy. She's getting ready for her big day. We get to see also Loomis. Oh yeah, he's getting like the mustache ready, all of that. I mean, whatever. So Paul, like we get to hear from like William Regal because, like you said, like Kyle O'Reilly's completely out of the match. So Walker is like the guy that like is gonna fill in his like the spot right there. For me, why is this brand new guy getting into it? It doesn't even have a history. Why is he getting a championship opportunity when you can have any other guy in the world? And he doesn't even take the pin in the championship match. So whatever.
Yeah, this Von Wagner. I mean, you look at this guy. I mean, he's 6'5", so of course, Vince and Bruce Pritchard and Laurinaitis, they're all like, yeah. So of course, forget about it. But I mean, no offense to the guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he looks like a fucking caveman. Like, really, this is who you took Kyle O'Reilly out for this guy? Like, are you serious? You could have just had something where maybe this guy helped Kyle O'Reilly and he beat them off, and then, okay, we're going to feud him with Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland later to help get him over.
But at least have the four guys in the match. Have the four guys in the match, exactly. Tommaso Ciampa was kind of a promo. He says, he's been like without Goldie for like 900 and some days. Is the most important day of his life. He's going to get Goldie back. So you saw... right now, when Kyle O'Reilly's taking out, I'm thinking, like, yeah, he's going to get the championship. There's no other guy, Like, I thought O'Reilly before that, but, Ciampa gets, like, I thought he was going to get the opportunity and the win. Ridge Holland fought, like, Drake Maverick. That took, like, 2 seconds. Ridge Holland's still there pushing the guy over. That's absolutely fine. Tony D'Angelo is going to be, like, an Italian dude that, like, is going to be, arriving to NXT. Do we really care? Like you said, they sell these guys thinking that, oh, my gosh, we're going to just pop for these guys. We don't know who they are. I don't care. So, like, they really took it to that development of, like, Vive,
Yeah, I don't know. See, this suffered because it was on a show where 90% of the show, I shouldn't say 90, I'd say, okay, 75% of the show was absolute shit.
Yeah.
So this got brought down by it. If this was on a legit show, I would have been feeling good. Okay, yeah, this guy, his gimmick, he's from a town, he's from New York, whatever, he's Italian. But everything he said, he's like, I was an amateur wrestler. I was badass. He's a shooter. He's legit. But there's no money in that. Where's the money? WWE. So the guy's got skill. He wants to win because he wants money. So, okay, he should feel legit, but it didn't because it's on a show with all this other garbage. So,
yeah, and like you said, you present way too much talent that are brand new. So, like, I'm not going to be, oh, yeah, okay, want to see D'Angelo fighting. Yeah, great, right? Ooh, I can wait for, like, for him to have a match.
I'm a little more optimistic. Like I said, I like Steiner's kid. This guy seems all right. The new tag team with Diamond Mine and the one we saw against Imperium. There's some stuff here, but how long until it just feels like Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, no, also that does it. How you handle the talent is the big thing. You mentioned the Credence brothers and everything. They have a match also, like enhancement talent, pretty quick. They're putting these guys, or at least we saw them last week. So okay, I know these guys, and also they introduced this girl. So she looks like Rhea Ripley, like Evie Angel or something like that is her name. So like also Malcolm Bivens like introduced her. She says that's the newest member of Diamond Mine. Show the body. She's like really like ripped. All of that. Kushida comes out and Kushida is like, oh, Roderick Strong just talk and non-stop. So they actually set up a match for next week for the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm sorry. And that's why, at least this is going to be okay. And I'm thinking the title's going to go to Roderick Strong. He's fine. Kushida, unfortunately, has not had a good run as champion. It is what it is. It's just pretty much, it is what it is. So, it's going to be fine, I feel. So tell me a little, Paul, about, like, your thoughts on this match. The NXT, of course, take away Kyle O'Reilly, because even the picture looks legit, but no. But I'm very, you actually like this match more than me, so, like, walk me through it.
Yeah, I like the interaction between Pete Dunne and Ciampa. They were the legit guys. Obviously, LA Knight had a match before, so there was, no chance in hell he was going to win this. Where's the song? No chance.
Yeah.
That was
Vince.
him. And, of course, Vince is in charge. Nobody had the chance anymore. But I mean, no, and Wagner, I mean, you see him beating up LA Knight in the picture. That was the main thing. It was the two of them going at it. He got taken out on the outside, what, by steel steps, I think it was, or something. You know, he was done. And, you know, the main thing, like I said, was Dunn and Ciampa. They were the two stars of this. LA Knight got involved a little bit. Wagner got involved where he was taking everybody out, I think, either into the commercial break or coming back from the commercial break, you know, but eventually, you know, it was just Ciampa and who did he pin? It was Pete Dunne, right?
No, but well, Pete Dunne and Ciampa did like a move on to like Wagner. They did that, and then like he took out Pete Dunne, and then he does like the Widow's Bell, or he did it on like onto LA Knight. So he gets another pin. He gets pinned twice in the same night, and you know one didn't matter. This one mattered even more, and you know Ciampa becomes the brand new NXT champion. He gets Goldie back, so I guess that's why they're doing it. I mean, like you said, they need a guy that is from the house. They need a name to carry this brand right now. They felt that Tommaso Ciampa is the right guy for the job. There you go. Like, I mean, I'm not happy with the decision. I would have, like, even you said it to me. It's like Kyle O'Reilly would have been a much better fit because he's been fighting for that. Not only with, you know, Adam Cole and all of that, but like with Finn Balor, all of that feud. Like, Ciampa, to me, you know, like, he already was the champion. But, I mean, McMahon is going to go with a guy that, like, never wants to go up to the main roster. You know, I gotta respect that, but do I agree with it? No, I don't like it, but it is what it is.
Well, yeah, first episode of this new branding of NXT, which we should mention now, they kept calling it NXT 2.0.
And that's what I'm gonna move on for. Yeah, they're gonna call it moving forward. Yes,
that's really annoying already after one episode. But you know, the first episode though of this new rebranding, you're not going to crown a heel champion. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody said. Oh, Pete Dunne. Oh, you know, LA Knight. No, it was either going to be Ciampa or Kyle O'Reilly, you know, but then they did this. So to me, okay, you know, Wagner, you know, you're going to put this guy over. Oh my God, he might have got a 2 count here or there. There was no way in hell. If he would have won that, their viewers next week would have been lower than Impact's because nobody would have given
exactly.
About this. So you knew Ciampa was going to win. It was just a matter of when. And, you know, the thing that sucks is that this isn't what closed the show.
Oh, yeah, and like I said, I thought that like it was going to close the show because that's how it should be. Your title is the most important thing. No, because we have a wedding. So welcome to the wedding of Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell. Well, I mean, there were some funny spots. Yeah, like you said. I mean, look at Sheree. She looks so beautiful. Io Shirai, like all the way on the left. Also, like, beautiful. I mean, I don't have a great picture. I'm sorry, it's from the TV, so I'm not present in the wedding, but that was, like, really great. They don't have the rings, so I guess they had Cameo, whatever his name is, like, he has it, you know, in underwear. You know, that's great. You know, I'm supposed to, like, this is my wrestling show, like you said. This is what, like, I watch, supposedly to, like, be serious about a sport, to feel respect for a sport. There you go. So,
like I said, if you just watch this segment, and you'll be like, what TV show is this from? Like they're imitating wrestlers. What is this from? You'll be like, no, they're not imitating wrestlers. Well, I guess they are technically, but you know, this is an actual wrestling show. People will laugh at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, is this an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? They'll be like, you know, what is this? Because
like you know, like the Comedy Central shows, like stuff like that. You know, like
if you like I said, if you watch it like that, you can laugh at certain moments. Like when he's like, where's the rings? And, you know, Austin Theory's like, oh, Icky Man has him. And he's like, who? Him? And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, that's my boy. Yeah. Like, he's like, oh, like a drunk frat boy. You can laugh at it. But at the end of the day, like I said, why is it on a wrestling show that I'm supposed to try?
Yeah, no, and I mean, this I'd laugh a little bit when it's like everybody's opposing for them to get the wedding, and then he shows the axe, and like, I mean, that was okay, but then you know, in the time that like Indy did her vows and everything, like she said a lot of things, you know, some of them funny and everything. Like she said they were like banging, and then Gargano's like, what? Because we were sleeping.
That was funny. Yeah, you know, and he grabbed the microphone so she stopped talking, and Gargano's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, he goes like, yeah, that was funny because he put like the.
But again, should it be on a?
And he did the Hana Katame onto like the the minister, and then they were actually Regal for like to finish like the wedding, and actually it wasn't Regal, it was Fed Phoenix that shows up.
Did you hear what the crowd was chanting?
No, I didn't pick up on that.
You know, after he choked out, the pastor or the priest or whatever, the crowd was actually chanting because they're like, oh, we can't finish this wedding. They were going, priest. And
they wanted Damien priest, and then he wasn't even there.
And he was there. I mean, obviously, or on a pre-tape or something, but I'm like, that's where they could have saved this segment, He could have came out. He'd been like, all right, again, with 2 chicks on his arms, like he normally does in NXT. Come out, be like, all right, let's cut to the chase. Indy, you know, do you take him? Dexter, you take him? All right, let's party. And he's drinking, and the chicks are all,
yeah, exactly. It would have been much better. Yes, exactly. But Beth Phoenix shows up.
Yeah, they had to do the babyface thing where they bring Beth Phoenix because she was the one who encouraged.
She got a license. She said, like, you know, like yesterday, and she's like, "Oh, do you take him?" and everything, and she's like, "Yeah." And then he actually talked for the first time. He said, "I do." So like everybody's like, yeah, he talked, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I don't know if his character is already dead. You know, like there's no more psychopath series. Like we were actually so happy when he debuted.
If this is the only time he ever talks, ever, like unless they would change his character or like, you know, whatever, some kind of, he goes to another promotion, whatever. But like, if this is the only time he talks, I'm fine with it. But if he starts talking regularly, then he's absolutely finished.
Yeah, it's Kane 2.0, you know, done. And but I mean, he's been already like done.
See, at least when Kane started talking, he was already like main event, and he started
exactly like Loomis is, you know, like he started out really promising, but all the way as the months kept going by, lower and lower. So the show ends with like you get to see also like Steiner's kid, or like you said, Breaker, the backbreaker, whatever. Like there's a champ, and you see maybe this could be a possible feud. And like you said, for me, it's just too soon because we don't even know the guy. They need to use some of the guys that they already have. Yeah, you know, for me, Pete Dunne didn't look good. Knight didn't look good. But there you go. Finish this review for me.
Yeah, to finish. See, I like this because, you know, Ciampa's not out there. He's not dressed up in a suit. He doesn't give a shit about this wedding. Like I said, there's still some holdouts that are like, okay, we'll be serious on this show. Maybe we'll try to save this show and, you know, make it watchable by being serious, you know, as much as they can. So Ciampa's just sitting there. He's just holding his title. Steiner comes in and he's like, you know, hey, great win, champ. And then he's like looking at him, smiling. Ciampa puts out his hand. They kind of stare and their smiles kind of fade like, okay, yeah, I'm happy for you, but, you know, I want that belt too. I don't think it's going to be a championship match or a feud. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next week we see Ciampa versus, you know, Braun. Was it Braun Breaker?
Braun Breaker, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we see him and Ciampa, non-title match. You know, the kid looks great, but Ciampa wins in the end. You know, I think we'll see something like that to maybe kind of be like a Cena Kurt Angle thing where it's like, all right, kid, you know, you look pretty good, but you know, I still. But
you're not in that level yet. You're not there. You gotta, you know, climb some ladders, and then we'll get you there. But like you said, family, NXT 2.0 already a disaster. We're not really, we're really, you know, afraid of what's gonna happen with this show. You know, that might be one of the shows that we chopped out from, like, you know, lineup, but, you know, we'll see. We'll give it a few weeks. We're going to let it develop, but already you can feel the hand of Vince McMahon.
I would say at the absolute earliest, we go till their first takeover, and if that takeover absolutely sucks, then
it will be, you know, that's the end for us on that. But family, thank you so very much for being with us for like this review. We hope we entertain you. We hope you did you well. Don't forget to keep, you know, subscribing to all the social media that we have. Hit that bell notification, especially on YouTube, so we can keep growing over there. And where else, Paul?
You guys make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Okay, and you know, we have one more thing that is left to say, and it is...